commentary number 168, Coop Troop has sent in, that looks like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Yeah, that is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I see it's on the Xbox 360 and shit like that. So I'm assuming this is not one of the old school Hipfire commentary challenges. This has to be a scavenger hunt. And obviously I didn't fucking check before this hand, so now I really won't know. Now, like I mentioned, obviously, I have a number of different challenges over at Prestige Gamers, you know, for the Hipfire commentaries and shit. So one of the main ones was old school, and then another one is the scavenger hunt. And with the scavenger hunt, anytime you get a scavenger hunt right, you can send in any video. So obviously, this being on 360, I'm assuming this is definitely not the old school challenge. Because if it was the old school challenge, anything on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 would not have been eligible. Because I wanted 10-year-old games. And damn, man, why is it taking so fucking long? Holy shit. 45 seconds to get into this motherfucker. And now you got Tony Hawk skating up in this bitch. Alright. Oh man, you know, I'm not into the whole skateboarding and shit. And I know Tony Hawk was one of the better games until obviously that shit got played out. You know, but basically everybody does the same shit. When once one game works, basically they take the motherfucker and they continue to do that shit over and over and over again. And you just like reset the shit. I assume you just reset this motherfucker. Now, you know what's funny, man, is obviously now I played SSX snowboarding and shit like that, and this, it doesn't look exactly like it, but it's a reminder of snowboarding. Because you think about it, dang, he just busted his ass. Man, do you keep like resetting every time you fuck yourself up? Son of a bitch, man. No, so anyway, you know, I love the SSX series, with the exception of, what was that, On Tour one, that shit was so fucking terrible. Nah, but basically, you do, you know, all this crazy shit in the air, and you can ride and fly and do all this fun shit and whatnot, and obviously, you know, the game controls how you land, it controls all the unrealistic and realistic shit that you can do, so obviously, skateboarding, you know, he's doing all kinds of shit, and you know, it's similar to snowboarding, because let's face it, what he's doing right now, he's in the park, but if you were to go snowboarding, you do this shit in a half pipe, or in a terrain park, or some shit like, yeah, okay, there. yeah, now we're getting into some SSX tricky shit where, you know, the leg comes off the skateboard and all that bullshit, and you land perfectly every fucking time. Yeah, this is definitely some SSX tricky shit. So, you know, I've never been to the whole skateboarding genre. I think I had a skateboard when I was like a kid, man. We're talking like, you know, younger than a teenager, man. That was the last time I think I had an actual skateboard. But I didn't do no stupid tricks. It was just, you had a skateboard because that was what you had back in the day. It wasn't, you know, like having a scooter or some shit, you know. So yeah, I never got into the whole skateboarding genre. And don't get me wrong, I know people are going to be like, oh, but skateboarding, the greatest shit on earth and soft toilet paper. I don't give a shit, man. Listen. It's fine for what it is. It's not my thing. I'd rather go snowboarding and fuck myself up on a mountain. Man, I'll tell you now, both are dangerous as shit, man. But you know, snowboarders, I mean not snowboarders, skateboarders, you guys obviously, you get a bad rap. You know, you take your skateboard, you skateboard in places that you shouldn't be fucking skateboarding and shit. You know, you grind in all kinds of places and parks and shit, and then the police come and they tell you, you know, stop fucking around and sitting over here. Oh, you fucked yourself up. Don't tell me you gotta reset this shit. Okay, at least he didn't reset this motherfucker. I was gonna say, man, don't be cheap and keep resetting this shit every time you fuck yourself up. Oh, you know what's funny, man? Because, you know, when you play SSX, and obviously with the newer SSX where you can see, you know, people's scores and shit like that, you know, people, they hit the reset button real fucking quick. Like, oh, man, I gotta get 2 million points, and now that I fell, I'm not gonna get my 2 million points up in this motherfucker. So I don't know if he's going for a certain point total or something, or what the fuck, you just bust. Are you seriously, you hit the damn... Oh, you son of a bitch. You hit the fucking retry button. Why couldn't you just fucking take that run as is, motherfucker? Oh, son of a bitch, man. I swear. You ever get people like that? They just hit the reset button every time something ain't going their way. Oh, there goes again. Another reset button. Come on, man. You need to get a clean run up in this motherfucker. You know, if this was a competition, you don't get no reset button up in this bitch, you know? You know what I'm talking about? This is X Games. You don't get no damn, no reset in this motherfucker. Now, I don't know, is anybody into like the whole X Games shit like that? You know, I remember when that shit came out. Oh, he's gonna hit the reset button again. Look at that shit. You know, I remember when the X Games came out all those years ago, and they had, you know, the summer obviously ones came out, and then the winter ones came out. You know, the summer had some cool shit. It was all what they considered extreme sports back in the day, shit that wasn't mainstream. And now the majority of that shit, man, it's mainstream and whatnot. I remember they used to have the shit that I thought was craziest was the street luge. Y'all remember, you know what street luge is? Well, anyway, For those that don't know, obviously in the Winter Olympics you have the luge where you basically you sit on a sled and you ride down the what was like the bobsled tube or whatever the fuck, the bobsled course. And it's basically there's the luge is the one where you sit on your ass, where you sit on your back and your feet first. And I think the skeleton is the one where you go head first. Anyway, the X Games had street luge, and I thought that was the coolest shit on earth. I was like, man, these are some badass motherfuckers. You gotta be crazy as shit to do that. I mean, half of this shit you gotta be crazy and fuck to do, but man, that shit was cool back in the day. And did you guys just see that? Look at the badass graphics, the way he somehow manages to control his body to end up right back in the park or whatnot. He would have flown the fuck out and ended up on the goddamn pavement, but somehow, look, you see that shit? All of a sudden, it just like sucks him back in, and he's able to stay in the park up in this bitch. You know, that's definitely some SSX tricky shit right there. You know, SSX is just like that. You know, you fly off a wall if you're in like the half pipe or something. Oh, fucked himself up. There he goes now. He's gonna reset the shit again. Are you using Tony Hawk? Because if you're not using Tony Hawk, you should go use Tony Hawk. Because obviously Tony Hawk is supposed to, obviously the game's named after him. I would assume he'd be the baddest motherfucker in the goddamn skateboarding game. You know what I'm talking about, man? I don't know. That's just me. I would just think if you're gonna take Tony Hawk, you saw that shit again, man. The graphics where the motherfucker was flying out of the park and somehow he manages to get. Man, I ain't even gonna get into that shit. You know, close to me, right under a local park, they built a little skate park and shit like that. And it's funny because it's nothing like this. Don't get me wrong. The elements are not even more than 2 or 3 feet off the ground, but it's at least something where the skateboarders can go and they keep their shit off the damn streets and whatnot. So it's funny because you go in there and you see all these little kids learning how to do shit, and they're decked out to the nines in equipment. You know, they got the helmet, they got the ass pad, the crash pad, the wrist pads, and all that other shit. You know, because they don't want to fuck themselves up. Meanwhile, look at this dude just cracked his skull again. He gonna press reset. Now, but meanwhile, you know, you do all that shit, and then they still fall, and they still cry, and they still whine, they still scrape an arm and shit like that, but they get right the fuck back up. You know, and it's funny because I look at that skate park and I'm like, man, they didn't. Wow. Damn, did you just see that shit? That motherfucker should have been like 18 feet out onto the pavement, and somehow midair he managed to turn his ass around and end up back in the. Oh, wow, man. Yeah, that's okay. So what happened? So the end results, you got a high score. You don't let me see anything. Oh, first place. There you go. So all that fucking resetting up, you're not in first place. Where are you? You're in 89th place. So after all that shit, after all that jumping around this motherfucker and resetting, you're still only in 89th place. So you're going to run this bitch again? I mean, you're going to do it again? Because after all, you maybe just watched like, what, fucking 7.5 minutes of you flipping around, pressing reset, cracking your skull open, and motherfucker. Do something, man. Oh, man, you know, the loading screens are what kill me. I mean, that's the reality, man. I shouldn't have to watch 18 minutes of loading screens up in this motherfucker, man. You know, I don't mind seeing a title screen. Obviously, he showed me it was Tony Hawk's skateboard, which is nice, because, you know, half the time I get these fucking games, I don't know what the hell it is, and all of a sudden, you know, I start doing the commentary, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this game is, so you guys ought to tell me. Look at that shit, again, come on, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, obviously, this is a skateboarding game, this shit ain't real. But damn, that is some badass graphics right there. You know, I know in SSX it does the same shit. I mean, look, snowboarders will tell you right now, you can't take your foot off the damn snowboard and do all those elements. You can't jump off a goddamn mountain, land 250 fucking spins without hurting your damn self. It's bullshit. We all know that, man. But at some point, you have to have some level of realism. That motherfucker, I mean, the physics alone, he was out of the park and somehow he managed to get back in the park. So, are you out of the park? Oh, now you're really out of the park. What's all that shit over there? What's all what? You kept your dumb ass in that little ass park this whole fucking time, and meanwhile you could have been out here. So what the fuck was the point of all that shit? I mean, are you supposed to stay in there? Is there some kind of challenge that says, hey, it's supposed to be the jackass that sits in this motherfucker? I don't know. And who's that dude just sitting up there? Was that like a referee or a spotter or some shit? Yeah, you know, I'm sorry, man, but people would bust their ass if they did this shit on a skateboard. Yeah, this shit is definitely not fucking happening. So, hopefully you finish in first place after all this stupid shit. And if you do finish in first place, I'm gonna laugh because you kept your dumb ass in that stupid little park this whole fucking time. And the only reason I can think of why you kept yourself in this park the whole... Oh, you fucked yourself up again. There he gonna reset this shit. No, the only thing I can think of is the reason why you kept your ass in that park is because it looks like it's small and you're able to get up and down doing tricks real quick. That's the only thing I can think of. Because you had that whole fucking park and you fucked your damn self up again. Damn, man, you gotta... So now you're just cracking your shit open on purpose. Ah, so it doesn't look like you're gonna finish in first place. What were you in 89th the last time? You gonna show us what you're in now? Or are you just gonna quit? You're just gonna say fuck it. Anyway, as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. And I'll see you guys in the next video.